Oh, hello everybody, it's Megalithic here, otherwise known as Puglo Escobar, and today we're going to take a look at the Bravado Verlierer, something like that anyway, retailing for a price of $695,000, and I'm sure you'll agree it looks more brutish than a Viking with a chainsaw. Okay, we're going to take it out, ladies and gentlemen, and see how she handles. Okay, and here we go. First of all, acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, not good enough in a sodding car. Yeah, the acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, it's as average as a wet weekend in Wales with your wife, you know. Okay, so we have a look at the handling, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and it's sort of it's stiffer to steer than a sumo wrestler on a skateboard, ladies and gentlemen. Not particularly good there. So we'll have a look at the top end speed, ladies and gentlemen, coming off these hills here. Okay, and it is to be going right. Okay, that's getting some air. So it's sort of, I mean, in the top end speed, ladies and gentlemen, it's quicker than a hand job from a Brazilian hooker. You know, that's pretty darn quick as well. Okay, so right then we're gonna have a look at the acceleration one more time along here, and then we're gonna test out the stability. So here we go. And yeah, okay, absolutely wretched, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely woeful. Pretty much what you'd expect from a Bravado, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. The handling and the traction, I mean, the handling's not too bad. It's quite sharp, you know, but the back end, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very long car, you know, long wheelbase, and boy, can you feel it, you know. It's a bit like driving the Vigilante almost. Anyway, top end speed, ladies and gentlemen, we are shifting, as you can see, we're flying down there now, aren't we? Okay, we're trying to get around, and with the sufficient braking, we're sodding hell, right? Okay, maybe not. Right, I was going to say with sufficient braking you can handle it, but it's still a bit tricky, you know. Anyway, this is first out of the box, ladies and gentlemen, the first time I've ever driven the wretched vehicle, you know, so we're having a bit of difficulty. Anyway, we're going to send it on to the custom auto shop, ladies and gentlemen, as we always do at this juncture, and there we go, we're going to send it on inside. Okay, now, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going through this section of the video at double speed, just in order to hurry things along somewhat, but still to provide you, the viewer, with the opportunity to have a look at the different modifications that can be affected to this vehicle, should you choose to go ahead and purchase it. Okay, we have got out a couple of the more performance-rated modifications, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of brevity in terms of turbo tuning, transmission, suspension, and engine, that sort of business. But the rest of the aesthetic modifications, ladies and gentlemen, will be included. Okay, so what can we say? You know, what can we say about this particular vehicle? It's interesting styling, ladies and gentlemen. It's got a gawping, awful big nose on it there, and all the rest of the cabin sort of sat back over the wheels there, isn't it? Very strange looking vehicle. In terms of performance, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, the acceleration, I'm afraid to report, was fairly average. Top end speed felt pretty good, you know, it was sort of shifting. And the handling, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's where it goes wrong for this particular vehicle. You can see it's got a very long wheelbase, and whilst the steering is quite sharp at the front end, I mean, that back end is going to take forever to come round, and when it does, boy, you're going to have a hard time stopping it, you know. Okay, so it requires sufficient braking in the corners, ladies and gentlemen, effectively speaking. Okay, so we're going to perform the relevant upgrades, modifications, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the fully upgraded Verlierer, or whatever it's called, and we're going to take it out. Okay, so what do we think now has been upgraded? Okay, acceleration, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's as underwhelming as a violin concerto composed by chimpanzees, you know. Top end speed, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's sort of, I mean, it is going, you know, it's sort of moving like a cheetah with the trots down there. And the handling, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid it's harder to handle than a hyped hooligan on hallucinogens. That is the major problem with this particular vehicle. Okay, well, be that as it may, we're going to move down here. We can see like top end speed, ladies and gentlemen, it is appreciable, you know. It is flying down there. Like I said, the braking's not too bad as long as you're braking and trying to get around the corners. There you go, you can sort of handle it, you know. So if you sort of get a hand for the braking, ladies and gentlemen, slam on the ankles before you hit the corner, and you should be okay. Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Verlierer or something like that, ladies and gentlemen, the Bravado Verlierer. I've got no idea how the hell you pronounce this name. Either way, we're going to send them all up to the top speed test track, ladies and gentlemen, and see what it can do. Okay, so the Bravado Verlierer, oh God knows what it's called. We're going to put it all down, ladies and gentlemen, and see what it can, like I say, what it can do. I mean, it looks sort of more, I mean, it sort of looks more unbalanced than a psychopath with a war axe, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so what we consider to be a competitive time to get down this straight, ladies and gentlemen, is about 53, 54 seconds. Seldom few cars can do it, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see if the Verlierer is one of them. Okay, so here we go, crossing the line, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be waiting for that result. And what do we get? Right, okay, 54.554, ladies and gentlemen. So that really is rather good. That does actually mean that this vehicle could be competitive if we can just get it around the damn corner in a good order, you know. So the first vehicle we're bringing out, ladies and gentlemen, is the Benefactor Schlagen, don't you know, retailing for $1.3 million. One of Mr. Raccoon's more favored vehicles, I should point out. Fantastic power, ladies and gentlemen, up to the top corner there before us. We've got better handling, it would seem, but as I said, it's got far more power, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to disappear down there in front of us. It is twice the price of this vehicle, though. That perhaps is worth pointing out. Okay, so in the same sort of ballpark now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring out the Bravado Banshee 900R. Now, this retails for about the Banshee on its own, $105,000, and it's $565,000, ladies and gentlemen, for the upgrade to take up to the 900R, which makes it a supercar. Very fast car, ladies and gentlemen. The handling, again, is a little bit dodgy, don't you know. I'm also going to take this opportunity to point out that Mr. Raccoon is driving all of the other vehicles. His name is the Bromby. He has a channel of his own. It is called the Bromby. If you type that into YouTube, you should go find it when you do that. It's got some rather good videos on there. The 900R, ladies and gentlemen, kills the Verlierer. Okay, so the next vehicle that we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the Fister Growler, retailing for $1.2 or $1.6 million, depending on whether you get the trade or the buy it now price. Now, it was released relatively recently, ladies and gentlemen, and as you can see, we are swapping paint going down there, but the Verlierer, ladies and gentlemen, is in front of the Fister Growler, and considering the Growler is, again, twice the price of the Verlierer, and even with falling off the track there, ladies and gentlemen, as you've just seen, yes, we're going to beat the Fister Growler, and that really is rather interesting. So there we go, you know, it really is rather interesting. And somewhat of a surprise, I do have to say. Okay, so here's the Fister Growler losing there. Oh, and the very next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, is the Anis Elegy Retro, don't you know? And now the Anis Elegy can be acquired for free from a Rockstar Social Club, don't you know? And the upgrade to take it up to the Retro there is $904,000. It has got fantastic acceleration, as you have seen, taking it up to the top corner there, ladies and gentlemen, but we have seemed to have a better handling, or at least comparable handling, and we've got it there around fairly well, ladies and gentlemen. It just seems to be a battle for it down the back. Okay, so and it also turns out the Verlierer, ladies and gentlemen, whatever the hell it's called, yes, it is sort of does seem to have a little bit more under the hood there. My God, it's a big hood, isn't it? So yes, the Anis Elegy Retro, ladies and gentlemen, $1 million nearly, losing to the $700,000 Verlierer, or whatever the hell it is called. Okay, so we're going to bring out a serious contender, or rather, this is a low-end supercar, ladies and gentlemen. Grotti Turismo are $500,000 for this car, so this vehicle is less than the Verlierer there. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens when you put the Verlierer up against even a low-end supercar, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it doesn't stand a soaring chance of that. Like I say, the Turismo R is the cheaper of the two vehicles. Okay, so the next vehicle we're going to bring out, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this retails at $1.3 million, $1,350,000. This is the Anis Euros, don't you know? Another vehicle that was released relatively recently. I have not tested this vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Raccoon assures me that it is a woeful disappointment. Okay, well, it is twice the price, ladies and gentlemen, of the, or nearly twice the price anyway, of the Verlierer, or whatever the hell it's called, the Bravado there. And as it turns out, it was a bit of a battle for it, ladies and gentlemen. They are fighting. It is sort of neck and neck, and it's trying to claw it back, but that is pretty much sort of across the line, sort of neck and neck, as I say. You know, maybe the Bravado had the nose there, and that's probably no surprise. Okay, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to bring out what we refer to as a serious contender, ladies and gentlemen, for the uninitiated. This is the Benefactor Serrano. It's the bottom end Benefactor, ladies and gentlemen, or at least the bottom end sports Benefactor, on the retailing for $110,000 on the Legendary Motorsports side, or you can just pull it off the street if you want. It's a very, very good car, ladies and gentlemen, but it hasn't got enough to take down the Bravado Verlierer, and that's rather interesting. Okay, so we are now going to start bringing things towards the end, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, Big Daddy Z. This is the Pegassi Zentorno. Mr. Raccoon and myself, who rather favor this vehicle, $725,000. my god, it's good value for money, you know. So between the Serrano and the Zentorno, ladies and gentlemen, these have got to be arguably the best, the most value, best value for money on the game, ladies and gentlemen. Zentorno's going to make mincemeat of it, isn't it? And there we go. So there is only one more question left, and that is the final masquerade, the Grotti Italia RSX. And of course, there is no question, ladies and gentlemen, the Grotti Italia RSX is going to absolutely destroy the Verlierer or the Verlierer, or God knows what this car's supposed to be called. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, what can we say about it? Well, I mean, in terms of looks, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it looks meaner than an angry attack dog with an AK-47, doesn't it? Let's be quite frank about these things, you know? The problem is acceleration, ladies and gentlemen. It's less exciting than a spinster's speech on sobriety, you know? And it's the handling as well, ladies and gentlemen, let it down. I mean, the handling, I mean, the back end is more unstable than a middle-aged man with a mohawk, you know? The only thing going for it is top-end speed. I mean, it moves faster than a Frenchman on a first date, you know? Is it worth the money? For $700,000, possibly. Mr. Raccoon says definitely. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.